Q the dog. Hello there, Frida. Frida Reba Darcy, and one, got that ear going, and one, Patricia O'Connor. And today is our Soggy Thursday drop. Maybe a water drop. We'll check in on our little cherry tree cuttings. There's still cherry tree cuttings. They're still hanging in there. I am not seeing any more. Well, the buds haven't completely gone yet. We'll just wait and see. I don't know if anything's got any roots going on in there. But it's a little hard to see these guys too at the moment. I did see where some roots were growing, but I haven't really, it doesn't look to me like they've made a lot of progress since then. But that brings us to our balcony. And as you can see, it is a little bit rainy today. It's my day off and it's raining. Am I worried about that? Nope. Also, Saturday is my day off and it's going to rain then too. And in between then, it's going to be nice. But you know what? It's nice here an awful lot. So right now we need the water. The water is good. So it stands to reason I haven't watered my trees on the balcony because it's been raining off and on all day. But actually, it's been kind of like heavy sprinkles. So with the wind, it is a bit of a question as to whether or not the trees are actually going to be in a, no, I can see the soil is definitely damp. I was kind of wondering if maybe they just get, if the soil just kind of gets sprinkled on several times a day. But then it's windy, maybe you could give off more water through the leaves, transpiration, than you were actually taking in. But no, you can see the pine needles look wet, the bark on the pine tree looks wet, the base of the ponderosa looks well and truly soaked, as does the trident maple and the dawn redwood, soggy city. We're not going to do an awful lot. We're just going to enjoy the ambiance. You know, one thing I really like is the lights doing their job on a day like today. Now, I'm not saying that the sun is not doing its job on a day like today. Even though it's cloudy, you can get a lot of good photosynthesis on a cloudy day. And I used to notice that some of my plants grew the best out in the yard on slightly cooler, cloudy days. You know, anybody that's been to the beach on a cloudy day knows that you can absolutely still get a sunburn on one. But with these full spectrum lights, and I'm not qualified to make a judgment on what full spectrum is or does or any of that stuff as far as trees are concerned. I'm pretty sure that's not a bad thing though. But what I will comment on is the overall look on just before dark when the light begins to fade and those guys are still cranking. It's a pretty look. And on rainy days like today, I would have to say the same. Everything out there looks really nice, but then everything in here looks nicely lit and looks really nice too. It's almost display lighting. I haven't watered today. When it comes to that, in a minute I probably will, because I know my cypress trees could probably, well, are used to more water than they've received thus far with those little bit of sprinkles. I usually pour it to these guys. So this guy looks like it's been watered in the last 10 minutes because it was. As everything on the rail, I can even see where the maple trees have got water recently coming out of the bottom where the rain reached this far in, because it's quite windy today. But it wouldn't be my day to water the ponderosa, but I would water it because of its location. It looks to me like this wisteria is dry. It looks to me like this ponderosa is dry. This cypress will get water. This oak got watered yesterday, doesn't need it. This bougainvillea, I brought it in last night because I thought we were going to get down to the 40s. We probably did. So that was the right call. It hadn't been watered. It'll probably get watered. That is a quick look at our weed and or our coastal redwood. I don't see anything else coming up. There is some other green coming up over in there. It seems like whenever I let it dry out for a second, we get a few more sprouts. So I'm gonna go with that for one more day and see what happens. Today, with all the moisture in the air, I think it seemed like that'd be the perfect time to do that. But everything looks so lush, and partly because of what I was saying about, you know, the gray background with this white slash blue tinted lighting that we've got going here. It's not hard blue. It's more, it looks white, but my experience with lighting is whenever it looks to be soft white or something, I tend to call that blue, because on the spectrum it's usually showing more blue than green, or more blue than purple, or more blue than some of the other colors. So yeah, and all the trees sure look happy with this. A little quick look at the cork bark after our you know, when it's back in its place. Cork bark oaks do love weather like today. They also love it when it's blazing hot. But I would suspect this thing to just to go great guns. And I'm starting to see all these little bud sites starting to swell on some of these limbs that I thought were looking a little bare. Come on, do all that stuff we need. Also, with all that wire gone, I won't have to worry about bud sites being under wire and stuff and not being able to come through. But we're not going to undergo any huge projects today. I've also got to take care of some errands today. I've got a small list of errands. So what I thought I would do today is just kind of give us a little look of the weather. It's probably in the upper 50s. You can kind of hear, if I would just be quiet, you could kind of hear how the wind, even when you don't see the wind, you can hear it rustling through. The background noise is wind, is kind of what I'm trying to say. And we just keep getting these little puffs of air through here. And you know, for a day off that's rainy, I'm not minding this at all. And it's supposed to do this for the rest of the day, and then tomorrow will be nice. And yeah, but I hope wherever you are that you are having a truly awesome day. And I hope that your trees are doing well. Last night we had a Bonsai Club meeting, and I zoomed it in. They were doing it both ways. You could come in person, or you could still view from the comfort of your own home through Zoom, which we've still set up since COVID. And I decided last night, I've been absolutely beat. There was a couple of nights in a row that I came home, sat down on the couch, and just woke up 10 minutes later going, well, that didn't go well. So I decided that rather than maybe possibly do that at the Bonsai Club meeting, that I would go home and Zoom meeting it. And it went pretty well. I think next month I want to be sure and be better rested, so that the trouble is I get off work at 6:30 and the meeting is at 7:30, and it's just long enough that I get off work at 6 and the meeting is at 7:30. So that's just long enough that I go home and walk free and do some stuff, and then have to turn right around and run back. And I so miss it if I don't do that. So I thought last night would maybe taking the Zoom approach would be a good way, and it was. I learned quite a bit. One thing I learned was that I have a lot to learn about maples. Speaking of maples, this is a look at our Codahan forest. It's 18 plus trees, we'll just call it that. And the trunks are starting to show their little diversity. They're all the same age, but through pruning them back last year, I'm starting to get some varied height. And because of their location on this little lot or this little forest, they're starting to show different thicknesses in trunks, and they're different dominance, and it's very naturally and very organically coming about, and I'm really happy with it. I think you can kind of see there's one small one way in there, that one in center of frame. That's the reason I keep coming up with different figures on whether or not. This was originally 20 trees. I had 2 die, and I still keep counting 20. And I had one extra, and I think that one was actually stuck to one of the bigger trees. And since this planting has gotten more separated, because I ended up with more trees than I started with. And I think I had originally, somebody slipped that one in on me on the purchase, and I just figured it out somehow. That's the only thing I can come up with, because I know I lost 2 trees out of 20, so why do I still have 19 to 20 trees? I did replace one, so that's how one of those figures would come up, but not both. Or it could be that I get lost in the forest. It's really easy to do when you're in a forest, but I've even looked at freeze frames, and I still come up with 20 when I'm really careful. So the amazing multiplying Codahan forest. And but yeah, anyway, that's how that's going. I've got a couple of little rocks in there. That was basically a way for me to make sure that everything sort of stayed in place and didn't erode away. It gave me something to hit with the watering can, so I could water these areas without totally blasting that little substrate, which I would say is like eighth inch granules or something. It's starting to break down a little bit. Next year it will get a repot. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm thinking about doing a cut somewhere in here. I don't want to separate it, but I'm thinking about doing a cut in there and putting a little bit of space, in the forest, doing a break. Maybe utilizing some of this space in here to bring this in closer this way and create a little break in the middle. I don't know. I haven't decided whether it would look like a path or a stream or what, but I've been thinking about that. And that'll be for something for next winter. But right now we've got all spring and all summer, and our trees are absolutely loving what our weather is doing when it comes to all the stuff that it's doing. Look at these cypress tops. They're just absolutely, dare I say, reaching for the sky. And here is our new little leader coming up, and it's just moseying right along. It'll be up here in no time. When it gets up here, I'll start trimming this one back, and it'll take its place. So, I'm not going to delve into anything too deep. I just thought I thought today maybe the light and the ambiance and the weather could be the story. And yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And Frida wants me to tell you that she so much appreciates you, and I want you to know that I too appreciate you. And thanks for watching.